Good morning. I've been watching some of the videos from some very, very good and wonderful commentators, such as Douglas Murray from England and Ben Shapiro here from the States. But there's one issue that keeps getting repeated and not really being addressed, and that's an issue that is not meant for argument. It's meant more to inflame and to get people sympathetic to the Arab position in Gaza or Gaza. Why I call them Arabs because there's no such thing as a Palestinian people. The only people who were called Palestinians prior to 1960 something were Jews. The Jerusalem Post was originally the Palestinian Post. The people who were Palestinians were all Jews. So they were not Palestinians, and Philistia ceased to exist somewhere during the time of the First Temple, or between the First Temple and the Second Temple. The Philistines were essentially a Greek island group of people, had nothing to do with Arabs, and or their descendants of North African Berbers, or the majority of the people who live in Gaza. They're Arabs or North Africans. The original people who were called the Philistines, are either extinct or they moved elsewhere. They were physically removed by invading armies. The belief or the articulation that somehow or other Yasser Arafat and his group come from the original Canaanites is ludicrous. The Canaanites were not Semites. They don't share any of our characteristics. They're much more closely aligned to the people who are in North Africa. And the Egyptians, Canaan was supposedly according to the Torah, the Bible, Canaan was the brother of Mitzrayim or Egypt, and so they should have the DNA of the people in North Africa. They should be very dark skinned, and the Arabs are light skinned, light brown skinned. They're totally unlike the original Canaanites. And the Canaanites, by the way, for your information, who the Canaanites were. Canaanites were the Phoenicians. Phoenicia is Canaan. That's who they were. And they were the traders of the ancient world. That's why the original word for a merchant was a Canaanite, a Knaani, because they were the merchants. They set up a place which was in competition to the Romans, and the Romans sacked them, destroyed them. But they had posts all over North Africa, and that was where they traded from. It was called Carthage, Carthagena. It's on the coast, I believe, of Tunisia, and it was just opposite the Roman, the Italian peninsula. And they competed very strongly with the Romans for domination in the Mediterranean, the central Mediterranean. And eventually they were destroyed. The Romans were able to, somehow or other, they were defeated many times by Hannibal, but Hannibal did not have enough of an army to sack Rome. And while Hannibal was fiddling around in the Alps, they attacked Carthage. He came back, but by that time they had effectively defeated the Carthaginians, and they destroyed Carthage. But Carthage was an outpost of the Phoenicians. So North African people are the same as the Canaanites. They were all over the North African coast, and they traded with all the people in the Near East. At any rate, the Canaanites were not Arabs, and they were not anything connected to Yasser Arafat. The North Africans who are there are not Canaanites. They certainly don't identify as Canaanites. They identify as Berbers who lived in that North African area. Anyway, this is just not nonsense, not to be repeated. The Arabs live in Gaza. Those Arabs who live in Gaza, they are now 4 times as many of them living in Gaza as they were when Israel defeated the Egyptian army and took over the area. Now, of course, they left in 2005. They haven't been there in 18 years. No Jew, in fact, has been there, not even a dead Jew. Okay, they took out all the cemeteries, all the skeleton from the cemeteries, and they took them back to Israel. So there's not been an occupation over there. We don't have to talk about that. Everybody's supposed to know that, but most people still are stupid. People like Barack Hussein Obama says that they reacted to an occupation. I want to know what the occupation is. The answer of occupation has nothing to do with the West Bank. It has everything to do with Jews living in Tel Aviv. The Jews living in Tel Aviv are considered sacrilegious to all the Muslim radicals, and most people in Gaza are Muslim radicals. 80% of them voted for Hamas. They did a survey of people living in the West Bank, and about 80% of the people there support the atrocities perpetrated by Hamas. It was one survey that we saw. So, getting back to the original thing, there's no genocide there because there's 4 times as many Gazans as there were in 1967. Israel doesn't try to kill civilians. The fact that civilians die in a military activity is part of the reality, the terrible reality of war. Everybody knows that, but nobody cares to really articulate that because it's convenient to bash somebody who's hated by asserting something is patently false. When you assert it often enough, being me, you can't hide, stop supporting genocide. Well, that's baloney. Nobody supports genocide. The only ones who want genocide are the Arabs. The Arabs who are anti-Israel, supposedly anti-Zionist, they want the death of all the Jews in Israel today. That's genocide. They want to get rid of, kill every single man, woman, and child. It's got nothing to do with the soldiers. It's got nothing to do with politics, who's in charge. They want to kill every single Jew. Now, let me tell you something. Imagine you're on an island, a lonely island, and you're there with your wife, and you have 1 kid or 2 kids, right? And you've got a gun. And you're the father and the husband, and you got to take care of your wife and your two children. And along come a bunch of pirates. They got this big boat. 40, 50 of them take a look at your island. They say, hey, they got some good palm trees over there. It looks like there may be some good stuff that we can mine or we can get. And we want to take over this island. And you're the owner of the island. And they attack you. And they are shooting at your wife and your children. And you have a gun. Do you shoot the pirates? The answer, of course, is yes. Well, how many pirates do you shoot? Well, if you only shoot some of them, they're going to shoot at your wife and kids, so you have to shoot all of them. So now at the end of the day, you've shot 50 pirates in order to save 3 people. Is this fair? The answer is, of course. They're shooting at you. They're trying to kill you. You're defending yourself, and you shoot as many as you can, given the fact that you know the lay of the land, and you're trying to defend your family. You have all the motive necessary to defend yourself. You're going to kill as many of those people as possible till the very last one of them. It's got nothing to do with numbers. It has to do with who started this and what are they trying to do. The purpose of Hamas is very clearly articulated in their papers, and that is destruction of Israel, and therefore the death of all Jews. They say, no, they want the Jews to be dhimmis. Really? You know anybody in this world who wants to be a dhimmi? Do you know any black person who wants to become a nigger? Wants to become a second-class citizen under Jim Crow? Know anybody like that? I don't know anybody like that. Anybody like that is crazy. No Jew wants to be a dhimmi. And I got news for you, the Christians would also be dhimmis if they had their way. They'd have to pay a tax just to live. And they have all kinds of crazy laws that they can take your kids if you die. All minor kids, if the father dies, can be forcefully converted to Islam, because the only reason why they're Jewish or Christian is because of the stupidity of their father. Now that the father's dead, they will take them to the enlightened religion. I've done 29 videos on the surahs. I'm not going to do any more, because after I did a few of them, all I got was, we kill you. That was the extent of the communication I had with Muslims on the surahs. I had a video, Messiah is coming, are you ready, my Islamic brothers? And I had a lot of hits, many hits from Saudi Arabia. And but nobody was willing to engage with me in discussion as to how to reform the ideology of jihad. Jihad, some of the proponents of Islam say, it really means it's an argument. That could be a religious argument. Guess what? I'll be perfectly happy for the next 50 years, if I live that long, or my descendants live that long, to engage you in a discussion for 50 years, 100 years, 200 years. I don't care how long it takes. We can have that discussion. We can have lunch and argue. That would be wonderful. The problem is, nobody in the Islamic community really believes that jihad means a discussion or an argument. Jihad means is to take a gun, and either you accept Muhammad as the prophet and Allah as the only God, then you die. You're a kafir, unless you accept dhimmihood. And I'm saying right now, I'm never going to accept dhimmihood, and I don't think any of my kids or grandkids are going to accept dhimmihood. We've lived in the Western world. We love the Western freedoms to worship as we wish, and that's it. And not many of the Christian people that I know will accept dhimmihood either. So this is the situation. They're coming to get my kids. It doesn't make it if it's my kids or somebody else's kids. If I'm defending Israel and I'm defending killers, don't make a difference how many killers I kill. I'm doing a defense of my people. The fact that I have superior technology, superior methods, or because my soldiers are better soldiers than yours, that reflects on the number of deaths that you have. But that's got nothing to do with the whole idea. The fact that the 24, that little girl in Oxford, that girl with the keffiyeh on, oh, how terrible it is, it's 24 times as many deaths. It's got nothing to do with what's right or wrong. 24 killers trying to kill my kid, I kill all 24 of them. So would you. In your hijab, you would kill all 24 of them. And you wouldn't say that there's something wrong with that, because you're defending your child. So, Ben Shapiro, cut it off at the point. Just tell, if I'm defending my kid, I don't care how many attack me. I'm going to kill all of them because they're attacking my child. Israel has got a right to defend itself. The fact that it has better soldiers, better methods, that's why there's less casualties. But there are casualties. There are hundreds and hundreds of soldiers that have died. A horrific number of soldiers have died. Too many. And so why do we continue the war? We continue the war because we don't want to have another massacre like they had 10/7. And that's what's going to happen if you keep Sinwar in there. So kudos to Bibi. I may not like him for other reasons. He might have worn out his welcome. Doesn't make a difference. He is what is needed right now to stand firm, make sure that they don't do it again. So kudos to you, Ben Shapiro, to you, Mr. Murray, to all those who defend Israel. Kudos to you. But stop skirting the issue. This is not genocide when you're defending your people. The fact that you kill more of them than you lose, that means you got good policies, you got good soldiers, got good equipment, got nothing to do with genocide.